Ladies and gentlemen, imagine this. You're sitting alone in a pitch-black room. Rain taps against the window, steady and cold. And suddenly, from right behind you, a piercing, hollow cackle cuts through the dark, like a voice echoing up from the underworld. Would you dare turn around to see what it is? A zombie? It doesn't laugh. A vampire? It isn't a corpse. But yet, in Vietnam, there is a demon that combines the worst of both, one that has kept millions awake at night. Listen closely, and you'll understand why Vietnamese people shudder at 3 words. Quy Nhap Trang, roughly, the corpse possession demon, pronounced Quy Nhap Trang. The legend of Quy Nhap Trang has been passed down for countless generations in Vietnamese culture. According to stories handed down by village elders, this is not a natural return from the dead. It happens in the fleeting moment, when a soul has just left the body, and a crack opens between the living world and the afterlife, letting a malevolent spirit slip in and seize the prover, flesh. The monster here isn't a giant beast or a horned fiend. It is the restless dead, the wronged, the young lives cut short, the wandering souls that never found peace lying in wait to borrow a body and rise. They're described with skin the color of candle wax, lips bruised purple, eyes blank and pupilless, and movements that jerk like a marionette yanked by strings from hell. But the deepest terror isn't the look, it's the shock. A loved one has just breathed their last, and suddenly bolts upright, staring with a strange, empty gaze, then breaks into a chilling, echoing laugh that feels like a curse from the grave. Folk belief holds that these spirits don't merely want to live again, they want to spread fear, to hunt the living and drain their life breath, turning victims into the next walking corpses. From the quiet northern hamlets to the riverlands of the south, this legend endures as a warning. Death is not always an ending. Sometimes it's the beginning of true horror. To keep Quy Nhap Trang at bay, Vietnamese families developed time-worn funeral customs steeped in spiritual belief, passed from generation to generation. During wakes, especially in rural areas, relatives keep vigil through the night, burn thick coils of incense to drive away evil, place a sharp knife or shears near the coffin as a weapon against demons, and scatter lime powder mixed with black beans around the house to form a barrier no spirit can cross. One of the greatest taboos is the black cat. It's said that if a black cat leaps over a body before burial, the gates of the underworld swing open and the demon enters the corpse at once. In parts of central Vietnam, people hang mirrors before the coffin to reflect the shapes of spirits and frighten them away, or chant sutras without pause, because silence is believed to invite Quy Nhap Trang in. These practices don't just showcase Vietnam's culture, they embody reverence and grief for the departed. But to keep this legend from being just a tale, step with me into a night that felt all too real, a torrential storm, by a lonely riverside in the Vietnamese countryside, decades ago. It was the story of Granny Tam, a gentle woman known for her warm smile and simple, homely cakes. That year, after a long illness, she passed away, leaving her family shattered. The coffin was laid in the earthen-walled home. 4 oil lamps flickered in the draft off the river. Rain and the rhythm of wooden prayer blocks merged into a haunted symphony that made everyone's skin prickle. Exhausted after a day of mourning, the family drifted off, leaving only a young granddaughter to keep watch, her eyes burning with sleep but too afraid to close. Then from the doorway's shadow a black cat shot inside, eyes gleaming like hellfire, and sprang onto the coffin before the girl could move. In an instant, all 4 lamps snuffed out. Darkness swallowed the room. A dry creak rose from the coffin lid, as if something inside were shifting. And then, to the girl's horror, Granny Tam sat up, face stiff as wax, eyes gone white and wide, no warmth left anywhere. A ghastly laugh hissed through her teeth, stretching long like wind howling from the bottom of a grave. The fog outside seemed to thicken with every note. The girl screamed once and fainted. That sound, unnatural and cold, rippled through the village, set the dogs barking, and wrenched people from sleep and panic. The old men said the truth out loud. Granny Tom had become Quy Nhap Trang. Knives were drawn. Prayers thundered without stopping. Only when the body collapsed once more into stillness did the nightmare end. No one slept that night. From then on, the house was branded cursed. Some swear the cackling still returns whenever the rains come. And if you think Granny Tam's tale is chilling enough, listen to this. Something said to have happened in 2024 in a secluded village in Quang Nam known for coffin making and burials. A man named Quang lived with his wife in an old timber house along the mountainside. They made coffins and prepared bodies, a humble life, until tragedy struck. His wife died in an accident. Refusing the truth, Quang kept her body at home for years, cradling her and whispering love as if she still breathed. The villagers begged him to bury her, calling it a terrible omen. He wouldn't listen, guarding the house fiercely to keep out black cats and anything that might disturb her. Then, on a moonless night, as he drifted to sleep beside her, a stray cat slipped through a crack in the door and leapt across her body. You can guess what happened next. Quang's wife bolted upright, eyes wide and unblinking, a cold echoing laugh spilling from her lips. At first, Quang rejoiced. She was alive, but reality twisted fast. This wasn't his wife returned. Something else had taken her place. The corpse possession demon turned on Quang, feeding on his life breath until he was neither living nor dead. Villagers later said they saw him fleeing into the storm, clutching the corpse as thunder rolled and that terrible laughter rode the wind. In the end, Quang grasped the truth and, in despair, ended his own life with a blade, hoping to break the curse. Yet the restless spirit lingered, waiting for the next body to wear. The tale inspired a 2025 horror film of the same name, chilling audiences worldwide with its fusion of tragic love and supernatural dread. The legend of Quy Nhap Trang reminds us that death isn't always peaceful. Sometimes it's an invitation to darkness. If you're sitting alone now, listening to the wind breathing through the window frame, ask yourself, is it just the wind, or is a cold, hollow laugh waiting for you to turn around? Think carefully before you turn off the lights tonight. If this story sent a shiver down your spine, share your thoughts below. Have you heard a similar legend where you're from? Don't forget to subscribe for more chilling tales from around the world. Thanks for watching.